I'm Alex Hayden, coming to you from the beautiful mountains of East Tennessee at one of the fastest short tracks in the world. The infield will be a cramped place today, but the weather is absolutely fantastic, and we're looking forward to getting some cars on the track for today's 1-hour practice session at Bristol Motor Speedway. The teams are looking to get their cars dialed in for the long run here today. Bristol typically sees a lot of long green flag runs and heavy traffic, meaning handling will be a premium. You're going to need a good drive in, really quick center speed, and the ability to cut down, turn the car, and power off on exit. That'll let you manage traffic and execute passes at this tight half-mile oval.
And you're also going to need to make sure that the AI don't run you off the track as they do at most tracks on this game. Needless to say, welcome ladies and gentlemen to tonight's edition of NASCAR 22 on the channel and today's fourth race of the 36 for our custom schedule season on NASCAR 22. Our first short track race of the schedule as we go to the Bristol Motor Speedway on the concrete version for the night race, 500 laps today. Before that starts, I'm going to practice here for a few laps just to get used to the car again, just because it's been a week since I played this game, and we haven't ran a short track on this game in probably 2 or 3 weeks due to the fact that we have started the season with 2 super speedway races at Daytona and then having the last race at Michigan on a 2-mile oval, our first intermediate track. We have a 39.3 average finish coming into the race today. 2 last place finishes and a 38th place finish. We have DNF'd in the first 3 races. We had a glitch at Michigan where we were actually running very, very well. We won stage 2 in that race. Stage 1 we finished second. And in the final stage of the race, final pit stop of the race with like 40 laps to go, I went to short pit, and when I came into pit road, green flag stop, got in perfectly fine, and then when my pit stop was over, the AI ran me into the wall as I was supposed to leave my pit box when I had no control of my car, because when you hit the commitment line, of course, the AI takes over. So there was nothing really I could have done differently there. We made it into the pits perfectly fine. It was just for some reason when I went to leave, it turned left instead of right out of the pit box and got stuck against the wall with the throttle down. And I had like rear tires blowing out on me. The oil temp was up over 400. It was something ridiculous. But I think the water temp was over 400 too. It was spewing out. We're going to hope that that doesn't happen today. Hopefully we don't have to make a green flag pit stop. I don't think we will. Bristol and most of the short tracks on this game, we tend to get a lot of cautions from the AI. So if that ends up happening today, I'm sure we'll just have to strategize exactly when we're going to have to come into the pits. Qualifying is going to be important for us today as well. The main reason why qualifying is going to be important is because of those cautions. We cannot get trapped a lap down in this race. You can see the point standings at the top of the screen. There we go. You can see the point standings at the top of the screen, what the early playoff standings look like. If you don't see Greg Biffle in the top 23, which was all I could fit on the leaderboard, that's because we are not in the top 23. I mentioned that we have finished with 1 point in each of the first 3 races of the season for our race finishing results. Now, we have gotten a lot of stage points in 2 of the 3 races. Daytona 500, we didn't get any stage points. Finished last, so we only got 1 point there. Finished 38th in the second race at Daytona, which was a 50% race. Before I DNF'd in the big one, in the final stage of that one, actually scored 16 stage points. Ended up finishing 5th in stage 1 and then 1 stage 2. Or sorry, all the way around. 1 stage 1, finished 5th in stage 2 in that race. So I got 16 stage points, 1 race point, so 17 points that day, and I had 20 points at Michigan for winning stage 2, finishing 2nd in stage 1. So we had 19 stage points there, and then ended up finishing last again. So currently, the only drivers that are behind us in points would be J.J. Yaley. He's got 20 points on the season. We have 38 total, by the way, so he's got 20. Kaz Grala has 55. Timmy Hill has 2, but I think he's only ran 2 of the races out of the 3. Who else behind us? Corey LaJoie's got 21 points. Cody Ware is 1 point ahead of us. If that tells you how far back in points we are. We do have to be in the top 30. I know that's not a rule in NASCAR anymore. They made a rule change this offseason, but this is the 2022 season. So out of technicality, we do have to race with that points format. So if I'm not in the top 30, even with a win, if we don't have more than 16 different winners, I cannot qualify for the playoffs. So Got to get inside the top 30. We have to get a win, and honestly, with 3 different winners in the first 3 races, Daniel Suarez winning the Daytona 500, Ryan Blaney winning the 50% race at Daytona. That was an 80-lap event under the lights, and then Michigan was won by Martin Truex Jr. last week. We're going to have to get on a good roll. Now, we will be racing this game for the next 3 days on the channel, so we will be racing this game tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So this could make or break our season over these next few days, to say the least. Darth Vader rules Star Wars. Wade Zielinski, Patrick Shadley, NASCAR Cup Series 2311 Racing, and others. Welcome into the stream. Be sure to hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe as well. I should say subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you have not yet done so, hit the like button as well, and we'll get on with this stream. So, going to run a handful of laps here in qualifying just to try to get used to the car. Stability help makes the cars very tight on this game, especially on the bank tracks. Not as much on the flatter tracks, but as the tires wear out here, it's just going to get tighter and tighter and tighter, with this being a high-banked short track at Bristol. Just have to run some time trial laps, find out where the speed's at in this race car specifically with how the handling is, and got to lay down a really fast lap in qualifying, try to sit on the pole. Was able to qualify on the pole for the first 2 races of the year at Daytona, but obviously that didn't fare well for my finish. Short track, you would imagine that track position is going to matter more than a super speedway. So hope for the best today. How do you start 2022 season races? Like to race with the next gen car itself, you have to have the season update. I have the season update specifically on NASCAR 22 Ignition. Or sorry, NASCAR 21 Ignition. But I have the 2022 season update DLC. All the different paint scheme packs with that as well. Running as Greg Biffle. I will say, considering our equipment, we're in the point standings where you would probably think we should be after 3 races. Now, the good news is, we have 7 more super speedway races left in the regular season based off this custom schedule season. The bad news is, with that many races, I know we're not going to win them all. I'm going to go out on the limb and say we're not going to win them all. We have to try to win, I'd say at least 2 of them, because I don't even know that 1 win is going to be enough to make it to the playoffs. I think we could see more than 16 different winners. 2 drivers that didn't win a race in our first season on NASCAR 22 have already won in these first 3 races, Ryan Blaney and Daniel Suarez, and Suarez didn't even qualify for the playoffs initially, so I definitely know that the running order is going to be shaken up quite a bit. I can't remember how much it cost, honestly. It might have gone down in price since when I bought it back in October when it first got released. Alright, that's enough practice.
Leaders are pitting now.
So, let's see where I timed in. It's saying I'm first. 15.740 is my fastest lap. Kyle Busch ran at 15.843. I don't know, maybe. Maybe we got the pole. Well, not the pole, but the fastest time in practice. Yeah. By about 1/10 of a second, Greg Biffle gets the fastest time in practice. That's the first time I've been top of the charts in practice this season. Well, who knows?
Welcome to pole qualifying here at Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Alex Hayden, and we've got some intense action to bring you from one of the smallest tracks on the NASCAR circuit. Drivers will look to run sub-15-second lap times at this very small half-mile track. We may even see a new track record.
I don't think we're seeing a track record.
Cars have been pushed to pit road, and the drivers are ready to go for this single-car qualifying session. There's no telling who's going to have the speed. There's always the favorites, but can there be a surprise driver towards the top of the charts? Short tracks tend to bring out more driver skill with the lack of downforce and high horsepower. So let's get ready to see who's going to put down the fastest laps.
Hopefully it is our guy, Greg Biffle, looking for a 3rd pole of the young season. We just gotta hope for the best. Oh, gonna see what the time to beat was. 15.602 time to beat. I think what was it? A 15.780 is what I ran in practice, so I am gonna have to pick it up a little bit. I was afraid of that.
Show it to me here. Let's put
All
down
right,
a
well,
flyer.
let's see
Show
what
it
Greg
to me here.
Biffle's got.
Let's put down a flyer.
We need a flyer. Two laps, excuse me, to set the quick time. And Greg Biffle gonna let her rip. Gonna make sure he doesn't squawk the tires coming out of the box. On the outside as he's getting up to speed here. Back to his normal line. Well, that already killed some time on lap 1. Got a little wide going into turn 1. We've seen some shifty all day long at Bristol, all 500 laps here. Well, green flag wise. Green flag of the 500. We're not going all 500 laps green flag, I can guarantee you that. I mean, we already know we're going to get 2 stage breaks. 16.041. Yeah, I know I messed that first lap up going into turn 1. Lap 2, gonna be quicker, but not enough for the pole. About 0.2 of a second off. Didn't show us what her lap time was. Well, I guess if I can do the math here, I did run quicker than what I did in practice. I believe I jumped up to a 15. No, I was actually slower because I was 0.2 off. Yeah, I was slower. I ran a 15, low 15.8. About a 15.833 or 15.837 would have been our lap time. So about a 10th off where it was in practice. Joey Logano is going to get the pole. William Byron qualifying on the outside of the front row in second. Row 2 will be Ryan Blaney, Greg Biffle. Again, Blaney trying to go for 3 straight top 5s, in fact. Finished runner-up in the last race at Michigan and won the second race of the year at Daytona. Kurt Busch, Chris Buescher will be in row 3. Kevin Harvick and Ross Chastain in row 4. Chase Elliott, Eric Almirola rounding out top 10 row 5. Kurt Busch, by the way, is actually 1 point behind me, so I'm having a bad start to the season. He's having a bad start as well. He hasn't had as many stage points as me, so that's why we actually are ahead of him in points. But both of us are outside the top 30, so really need to get moving here. Oh, I think there's a way to turn the camera shake off, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how, though. I can't remember.
We're here at Bristol Motor Speedway for the final race in the round of 16 in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. I'm Alex Hayden, and I'm here to bring you all the action at the world's fastest half-mile track. This legendary night race in the heart of Thunder Valley will test these gladiators, and only the best will take home the trophy and advance. Great Coliseum is ready to play host to 40 of the fastest stock car drivers in the world. Let's see who survives and advances.
Alrighty. It's time! Well, we already went through the starting lineup. Now let's just hope we make it all 500 laps. We have yet to make it to the end of a race this season. 3 DNFs in the first 3 races for Greg Biffle. He's starting 4th today. Hoping to stay out of trouble. 500 laps at this track in this game, though, not going to be simple at all. It's going to be tough just to finish on the lead lap. The green flag is going to be in the air. We are underway, and already Kurt Busch running into the side of Biffle into the first turn, moving him up out of the way. Trying to get the spot. Biffle on the outside, scrapes the wall. And that's going to cost him a chance to stay with Kurt Busch, and now Chris Buescher in the 17 car going to get underneath him as well. Buescher just knocked the 44 Biffle into the outside wall also. Biffle going to get to the bottom behind the 17 car. Top 3 pulling away right now. Ryan Blaney trying to make a pass for position. Greg Biffle getting pinched off by the 17 of Buescher. Of course, Buescher won this race in real life last season, so he could be one to look out for today. Complex damage is on, though, too, so there is a likelihood of blowing a tire under any significant contact with the wall or another car. Important not to make contact with anybody else. You have stability help on, though. A little more leniency when contact is made. Not so much to the other cars, but at least when contact is made or initiated to the 44 of Greg Biffle. Kurt Busch kind of slowing these guys up just a little bit. Greg Biffle to the outside of Chris Buescher. Had a big run that time. But I do not believe he's going to be able to make the pass. Buescher looking back to the inside. Joey Logano has opened up a couple car length lead now. Up at the front of the field. Buescher dive bombs into turn 3, almost making contact with Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch, Greg Biffle need awesome days. Qualifying well is a good start. Biffle just can't get back to the gas when he wants with the 17 of Buescher crowding him from the middle to the exit of the corner. Now there's contact with the 17 there. All that did was hold Biffle up just a little bit. Yeah, I'm content with just making it. Honestly, if we finish on the lead lap, good enough for me. And we have a top 10 car out of the gate here. Gotta really take care of it. Gotta not put ourselves in uncompromised positions. Especially off the exit of the corner. We know Buescher already squeezed Biffle into the wall on lap 2. Have to expect that that could happen again.
Clear. One left. All clear.
The squeeze.
Stay right.
Shifted maybe a little too much that time going into turns 1 and 2. It bogged Biffle down. Couldn't get the run needed.
Got one left.
Powers to the outside of Chris Buescher. Trying to hold it. Can he make the pass into turns 1 and 2? He gets by Buescher. And barely squeezes off the 45 of Kurt Busch. Overdrives the corner, though. Scrapes the wall, stays out in front of Kurt Busch, and he's up to 4th. Now has a bunch of clean air on the nose. Power move. Scraped the wall about 4 times already in these first 14 laps. Gotta be careful. And it is easy to cut a tire in this game. Not as easy as what it was with the Gen 6 cars on the other side of the game, but with the season update and these composite bodies at the next gen car, it's a little harder to blow the tires, but we have still had it happen. In fact, it's happened twice in these first couple races of the season. Ross Doherty, thanks for tuning in. Dark Crypto, welcome into the stream also. A lot of lap traffic for the leaders. Biffle starting to run some fast laps. In fact, his last lap was as fast as 15.838. It was about what he ran in qualifying. His lap time was a little slower qualifying from what it was in practice at one point. And none of the top 3 have even made their way through any lap cars, which is interesting. The fuel window is shorter in this game than what it is in real life, so they will have to make a pit stop at some point in this stage. Whether that be under green or under caution. Logano very patient in trying to pass the 27 of Larice Hesmans. Biffle looking for a run on the outside of Ryan Blaney.
All clear.
Gonna get there. Byron squeezes him almost into the outside wall. Biffle gets into the wall his own self that time off of turn number 4. He's gonna find a hole between the 12 and the 24. He's just gonna try to get back down to the bottom. does right behind Byron. Quickly trying to make a pass to the inside. Outside lane's just so easy to get a run off of versus on the bottom. You can really see when Biffle does get underneath the car how he isn't able to complete the pass. Only a couple passes he has made has been on the outside so far. It is very dangerous, as we've seen already a couple times. Kept it off Byron that time. Joey Logano crowds the 44. Biffle kept it off the wall. Blaney into the back of Biffle instead there. Biffle just trying to hang on to his car at this point. Looking to the inside. Couldn't get by Byron. Back into third, right in front of Ryan Blaney, though. Kurt Busch only a second and a half back. He's still holding off Chris Buescher in the 17 car back in fifth. Tried to downshift a little later into the corner. Looked like he had Byron beat, so Byron cut down and made contact. The right side door of Greg Biffle's car. Slowed Biffle up just enough and allowed for Byron to complete the pass. Biffle giving a shot to the back of the 22, pushes him out in front a little bit, but he does squeeze up in front of William Byron. Biffle trying to go to the outside of the 22. Lap car, Larry's Husband's in the way, trying to use him as a pick. Biffle squeezes by barely to take the race lead. 29 laps to go from fourth to first for Greg Biffle, and he's out in front for the first time in the Bass Pro Shops.
Got one right. Clear,
Bristol
clear.
night race. Farm Boy 2, thanks for tuning in.
Car right. Clear all around.
Trying to keep an eye on the chat as much as I can. It's difficult on the short tracks and road courses. I tried to let you guys know of that anytime we do a short track or road course. A lot going on.
Stay left. Stay left. Clear,
NASCAR
clear, clear.
21 edition. Xbox One. Be at your house tomorrow. Awesome, man. Hopefully you enjoy it. Yogi Crawford, welcome into the stream.
Got one right.
Cars are even pretty difficult to make a pass on as well. Balicki just ran right into the side of Greg Biffle. That causes Biffle's car to go up the track quite a bit there. Was hanging on to it though. By J.J. Yaley, B.J. McLeod.
Stay left. Clear, clear, clear.
I mean, if there's still some chance for us to get back into the regular season title hopes, obviously, that'd be great, too. Off to as bad of a start as we are. I believe Ross Chastain leads the regular season standings right now. He's still winless. He has 118 points. We have 38. Through 3 races, so we still have 23 races left. We're 80 points back. There's a lot of drivers between us and Chastain, obviously, so it's going to take a while to try to climb out of this. It's going to take a lot of stage points, a lot of good finishes to be able to do it, and a lot of help. There's enough races to have it done. We know Biffle's got speed on the super speedways, and even at Michigan he was fast. Wasn't as fast that final stage, but probably should have finished top 5. Throttle's on his own. You can just see how much he's able to sail it off into the corner versus everybody else around him.
Stay right. Low.
This is Cody Ware up on the outside. Really like to just kind of sail it off deep into the corner, let it feed up to the wall a little bit, kind of arc it down. Sometimes I'll stay on the top, kind of diving in the corner off just a little bit, similar to how you would maybe take a corner at Darlington. It only really works when you don't have cars anywhere around you because you're giving up a lot of bottom if there are faster cars right behind you with sailing it off as wide in the center of the corner. If you're not under any pressure from behind and you have the clean air in front, seems to be the fastest way around this racetrack. A lot of lap traffic up in front of Greg Biffle. I mean a lot. No pressure here. Still got a pretty sizable lead over Joey Logano. Andrew Biffle, you have to be patient. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. No pressure for Greg Biffle to try to pass anybody right now, even if there's an opening. Until somebody really starts to close in behind him, that'd be one thing. I don't think we're going to see that for a little bit. Especially knowing there wasn't much speed in those cars to keep up with the rest of this field anyway. I think it'd be the race leaders getting by those other lap cars that Greg Biffle already passed before anything else happens. Zaki, thanks for tuning in. Yes, I am driving. Controller. The in-car cameras, both with the onboard and the dash cam, really hear the throttle input when there's brakes being applied, when Greg Biffle's feathering back into the gas.
Car right.
Taking a peek underneath Todd Gillen, wasn't really looking to make the pass there.
All clear.
Well, it looks like he's going to be able to do it anyway. Check up right in front of him. Got into the back of Justin Haley in the 31. See, with no rearview mirror in this game, it's really tough too, because now with Gillen in a rear view, it's another reason why I was just wanting to stay behind him. He kind of checked up a little more than what I anticipated off the exit of one of the corners when we did drive underneath him and make a pass into one of the corners a handful of laps ago now. So I figure I might as well make the pass. No, I mean, the sounds of this game are probably off a little bit. It probably does sound a little bit weird. They do shift at Bristol, though, with the next-gen car and the sequential gearbox. The smoke pouring out of the back of the car because of going less than 100 miles an hour. On the other hand, that is not good. It's just that's a glitch with the game as well. Biffle going underneath of Justin Haley. Not going to make a pass there. Going extra wide in the middle of the corners. Really baiting Biffle to try to put him a lap down. And Haley will go a lap down there.
Car right. All clear.
Stenhouse overdrives the entry. It looked like LaJoy got loose in the center of the corner as well. Big time slide job as Biffle's able to pass both lap cars in the middle of the corner there. Almost halfway through stage one. Still caution free. Quite surprised. Don't usually see that on the short tracks in this game.
Got one right. Clear all around. Car right. All clear. Stay left. Clear all around.
Daniel Suarez, our Daytona 500 winner, now about to go a lap down in the 99. Reddick Kraut's Biffle going off into turn 3. Reddick now a lap down.
Stay left.
Suarez didn't get through turns 3 and 4 very well. Biffle's definitely starting to pick him up and put him down now. Kyle Larson in the 5 car. One of his better tracks, and he's outside the top 20 right now, in danger of going a lap down in the early going.
Stay left. All clear.
And he will go a lap down.
Car right. Clear, clear. Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left, stay left. All clear. Stay left, stay left. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. Still there, still there. Clear, clear.
Clip the apron, getting into turns 3 and 4 there. Just kept it off of Ty Dillon. Actually gets to the inside of the 14 as well. Chase Briscoe.
Got one right, got one right.
It's by Briscoe and Cindric. They both go a lap down. Biffle's already lapped up through 17th place. The first 70 laps of the race. He took the lead at lap 29. Getting through some faster cars right now. Get a little bit of a difference.
Got one right.
Meet the 11 of Hamlin.
Clear, clear.
Couldn't stay there. Drives it in deep enough to get back to the inside of him in turns 3 and 4. Has him cleared. And in the back of Austin Dillon getting into turn 1. Freed up Dillon's car in the center of the corner, and Biffle will lap him.
Stay left.
And Christopher Bell underneath Bowman, quickly getting around these cars. He was patient when he first got into lap traffic. Not as much anymore. Very opportune time to try to lap as many cars as he possibly can. You just never know what's going to happen the rest of this race.
Got one right.
Oh, massive checkup that time, and that allowed for Biffle to get by at least 2 of them. Almost 3 if he can get by Chastain. And he will. I think Hesman's just holding everybody up here.
Clear, clear, clear.
Biffle slides in front of Truex, and there are now only 8 cars on the lead lap. And the 9 of Chase Elliott, the Hooter Chevrolet, about to go a lap down. And does. Biffle under Harvick, Busher.
Clear, clear.
5 cars on the lead lap, and Hesmans will go 2 laps down in last place in the 27. Biffle back to having clean air at least for a few laps. Overdrove the corner. Don't want to do that again. That was not good. It's a little bit tighter now than what it was earlier. There's another reason why, as you saw him get back into the gas a bit too soon off turn 4. Be nice to lap the field before the end of the stage.
Clear,
Still has
clear,
plenty
clear.
of time to do it. Might be a lot closer on the fuel window than what I originally thought. To the end of this stage, we may make it. I didn't think we were going to at the start, from what I remembered. Back in our original season of this game at this track.
Got one
It's
right.
not that we're this much faster than everybody else, it's that they can't pass the lap cars. They get stuck behind the lap cars, they cannot pass them.
Got one right.
Byron had a chance there to get by Timmy Hill. He couldn't do it, and that's why they're still stuck behind him. Because Timmy Hill's in 39th. We're 80 laps into a green flag run at Bristol. You have to imagine the third-place car would have already more than passed the 66 of Hill multiple times now, but nobody's able to get through the traffic
Car right.
except for Biffle and then maybe Logano to a certain extent. Logano has passed an extra car, but not all of them by any means to this point.
Got one right. Got one right. Still there.
Greg Biffle gonna lap Ryan Blaney. I'd like to get after William Byron next. This is on expert difficulty. They just cannot pass the lap traffic. I mean, that's the only reason we're... I mean, you saw the top 3 drive away from us at the beginning. We qualified 4th.
One left.
Blaney gonna get back by Greg Biffle that time.
Got one
Gave
left.
up too much at the bottom.
Stay high. All clear.
Got into the back of William Byron. That held him up a little bit. Blaney stays in front of the 44, so he gets back on the lead lap. Yeah, it probably is a bug. AI is just... They're smart when they want to be, but
Clear,
they
clear,
don't want to
clear.
be in this game. They're
Car right.
pretty dummied down.
Clear,
Nice way
clear.
to put it.
Car right. All clear. Got one right.
We're going to get by Timmy Hill, putting him a second lap down. Now it's just Joey Logano and Greg Biffle on the lead lap. Still 40 to go in stage 1. Look at Malicki blocking Logano all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. Logano went to drive his car up very deep into the corner.
Stay right. Stay right. Clear, clear. Stay
Biffle
left.
trying to get under Logano. Logano gonna pinch Biffle off a little bit now.
Clear, clear.
77
Clear,
Malicki
clear.
checked up a lot in the center of the corner. Logano stuck on the outside behind him again, and Greg Biffle gets by. He has now lapped the field in the first 90 laps of today's Bristol night race, and it's all due to the field just not being able to pass lap cars. And Greg Biffle just kind of gradually making his way through. Was very patient when he first got into lap traffic as they started to thin out a little bit more. Started going after passes, and now he has lapped everybody. But if we get into green flag pit stops for the end of the stage, that could be big.
Clear, clear, clear. Clear,
Contact
clear,
between
clear.
Biffle and Gailey getting into turn 1.
Car right.
Gailey chopped off Biffle. Biffle sends it in deep, gets by BJ McLeod. Massive advantage, though, for the Biff right now. He's going to need everything he can get, trying to get this first win of the season. And first win ever for New York Racing as an organization. Well, best way to stay in the lead lap the whole field. That's what he was able to do so far. A long ways to go in this race, and we still got to make it to the end with no glitches, hopefully. Good news is, with this being a night race, it already started in the dark, so we don't have to worry about a lights glitch of any kind. Lights were already on from the get-go. I mean, they could be saving a lot more fuel than Biffle as well, getting held up, so we'll see. I mean, we're down to 32 to go in the stage. Almost a quarter tank of gas left for Biffle at this point in the run. Alternate through the different camera angles for a little while, and Biffle already being a lap ahead of everybody. He's going to go back to being patient. He's got a log jam of traffic in front of him again. Still far enough ahead of Logano. Just needs to stay in front of him to the end of the stage. Don't push the tires too much. I think the tires will be alright. To the end of the stage, you won't have to worry about them wearing off and him catching us that way. They're just so slow getting around traffic. I'm curious on equal tires what everybody's like if we have track position at the front of the field. Because, I mean, we kind of did at the start considering we qualified 4th. I mean, we've been in the top 6 the whole race, but it was hard to pass the leaders. It took us a while. I mean, it took us 29 laps to get to the lead, despite qualifying 4th. And on top of the top 3 cars pulled away from us until they caught lap traffic and then we ran them down. So, I mean, when they have the clean air, they're faster than us. It's just, in traffic, they can't get around the back marker cars and we're able to excel. And that's why even on expert difficulty, we've lapped the field already in stage 1. We got a long ways to go in this one. It's got to be smooth. Even with the handful of times Biffle has made contact with the wall, hasn't blown her tire, no major damage on the race car. XX Larry and Santiago Kid also welcome into the stream. The smoke is just a glitch. I try to mention it every time that we race on a track where we go less than 100 miles an hour. Even if it's just for a split second, it's still smoke. So it's not like it's the engine or the tires. Because if you look at the oil temp, it's at 243, water temp at 220, so it's about normal. I think as long as the oil temp doesn't get above 260, 270, it shouldn't be running hot at all. Danny Haley and Tyler Burbeck welcome into the stream also tonight. If you're Greg Biffle, you have to pit during the stage break. I do think we're going to get a lot of cautions, either right at the end of the stage or right after, depending on when the field pits. just have to wait and see exactly of when they hit pit road. That's the big thing right now. Oh yeah, I'd much rather prefer real racing. This just takes us to the end of the week, that's all. Gives us some extra content. Still the realistic broadcast commentary, I should say, along the way. It keeps me a little bit in tune when I am commentating this, that I don't slip up as much during the live commentary streams that do matter on the weekend. More practice, the better for me. So try to make it entertaining for you guys. Something different than I think any other NASCAR YouTube channel out there has. I've had ideas of other stuff and other video ideas, and then I see like Iceberg and Slab Shoes and channels like that that have that stuff. I'm like, man, I don't think it's gonna get much of an outreach. Like, that's already there. So I try to go outside the box a little bit. This is something new. I'd be down for Kentucky Speedway. I mean, I only live like 3.5 hours from it, so that'd be an easy track for me to get to. Be the second closest NASCAR track to me outside of Michigan. Michigan's about an hour and a half. Watching NASCAR with the commercial breaks are unreal. Yeah, they have a bit too many of them. I mean, I have them too, but not as many and not as long. You can skip them after 15 seconds usually, and you're right back into the action. Down to 10 laps to go at stage 1. Whipple's still pretty far out ahead of Joey Logano. I think he's going to have enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage, and then he'll pit during the stage break itself. Definitely going to have to watch for anybody else potentially pitting, because the field tends to kind of come to a stop when that happens. Who knows, we may see a caution that ends the stage a little early as a result, which could lap drivers even more laps down with a scoring glitch that way. There wouldn't be a scoring glitch at the actual stage end as long as the stage itself ends under green. Biffle's still having a 1-lap lead on the field despite the fact that we have gone 118 laps caution-free at the Bristol Motor Speedway tonight. A little tight, the dirty air that time on the outside. Of course, his tire's very old at this point in the run. Over 100 laps on him. A lot less grip, obviously, now than what there was. Kurt Busch going to get some much-needed stage points. He's even behind Greg Biffle at points coming into the night. This will be the 3rd stage win of the year for Greg Biffle, assuming he holds on. And I think, I don't know, I couldn't tell if there were cars pitting there or not. They checked up a lot more than usual. There was one car that pitted. Kyle Busch is on pit road.
Only a few laps till we pit.
5 laps to go now in stage 1. And Busch is in the pits. You'd have to imagine a lot more cars will be coming in. Biffle going to try to make it to the end here. Pit road closes with 2 laps to go in the stage. Once the race leader crosses the start-finish line, which again is Greg Biffle right now, 4 to go. Only 2 more miles. Should be able to make it. He's definitely pushing it. Should be able to make it. Checked up a little more again. Chase Elliott is on pit road. He's going to drop them back in the running order quite a bit. Kyle Busch already kind of on the bubble a couple races in. Greatest start for himself this season. Another major checkup. At least Biffle's getting on the brakes in time, and he's also lucky he's not getting slammed into from behind either. as Garrett Smithley and J.J. Yaley are there. 2 to go. Pit road is now closed. We still have cars pitting that are running short on fuel to the end of the stage, which is just not something you want to do here at Bristol, is pit under green. Final lap this time by.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left.
So this is the last lap of stage number 1. This is going to shake up the running order for stage points in the top 10 for drivers that are pitting that are up there as well. Green, white, checkered flag in the air for the first time today. Greg Biffle will win stage 1 at Bristol and pick up his 3rd stage win of the young season. At least we're getting some sort of playoff points this year. I mean, I've been scoring some stage points, and it's the 3rd straight race with a stage win for Biffle. He's had 1 stage win in the last 3 races now, if you include this one. Just got to get that race win, and obviously just really get to the end of the race itself. Solid start, though. If we can get a max points day today, that'd be huge. Easily get us back inside the top 30. Here's a look at your top 10, though, at the end of stage 1. So you had Greg Biffle leading, Joey Logano 2nd, Ryan Blaney 3rd, Kurt Busch 4th, Kevin Harvick 5th, Martin Truex Jr. in 6th, Austin Dillon 7th, Denny Hamlin 8th, Austin Cindric 9th, Chase Briscoe rounds out the top 10 in stage number 1. So there's a quick look at the drivers who did receive stage points there for you guys as well. And we will pit during the stage break. We will take 4 tires, some fuel, and we'll get back out there and start stage number 2.
Watch the lights. Really close.
No adjustments either. No adjustments needed. I mean, honestly, the car got tight, you know, very late in the run. We also had over 100 laps on our tires, so. I'm surprised, though, we went stage 1 caution-free at Bristol on this game. So we are still the leader. We had a lap lead on the field at the end of stage 1. Green flag back in the air. A handful of drivers lost some spots. I don't like being on the outside here. I don't know if everybody actually pitted during the stage break that still had to pit or not. So we'll have to be careful here at first. So I have a feeling we're going to see some cars pit. Could cause some accidents. We've got a checkup going into turn 1 already. Biffle barely got on the brakes in time to keep it off Daniel Suarez. We got a lap lead on everybody, so we just got to be patient. Phil Moore, Mark Mars, welcome in. Welcome. 35 likes on the stream. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. And again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Race is going to be about survival today. We just got to survive. Got to be smart. Pick when we want to make our passes. Getting a lot more spaced apart off the initial start this time than what they did at the very start of the race today. Autism Trucking LLC, thanks for tuning in. How difficult was it to control the car when you started playing? It was very difficult, honestly. With the season update, I'd say NASCAR 22 is more difficult to hold the car on the intermediate tracks than what it is on NASCAR 21 Ignition. The short tracks seem to be more... It's weird. The short tracks on NASCAR 21 Ignition were the hardest to keep control of the cars, and now I think it's the opposite, where the intermediates are harder and the short tracks are a lot easier. That's me personally. I mean, I run with stability help on now on the intermediate tracks. I didn't do that on NASCAR 21 Ignition before the season update. It's just so hard. It's not so much that, like, I'm fine if I keep it by myself, but the AI are so wonky on almost every track in this game that they crowd you a lot. So even if you try to give up a position, you'll get ran into from behind or something ridiculous like that. And if they even touch you just a slight bit on the intermediate track, you're spinning out. I mean, obviously we've seen that already, even with the stability help for myself these first few races, Daytona and Michigan. I didn't run with stability help at Daytona, but I did run it with Michigan. And running it tonight as well, because it's not so much the short tracks, it's the bank tracks. Because like New Hampshire, Gateway, those tracks are fine, even though those are intermediates. Even Darlington to a certain extent. Like, Darlington should not be easier to drive than Michigan. Like, it's just... I mean, Michigan's a fast track, but Darlington's so wore out. It's like single groove most of the way around. It's so hard to pass. Why is that track easier to drive with no stability help than Michigan? Michigan, I'm spinning out off the exit of turn 2 almost every time. Even if I don't make contact on a long run. Driving the corner there.
All clear.
The wall's getting a lap back in 19th. Man, if we could pull off an upset, get this win today. We might have to get one more, though. And it's our only trip to concrete Bristol. We do have a trip to dirt Bristol, but that will be a little bit different. That might be more of a wreck fest than this. Because this has been pretty clean for the most part. Other than the AI actually crowding each other, we haven't actually had any incidents today. The only caution was the stage break at the end of stage 1.
Car right. Clear, clear. Got one right. Got one right. Clear all around. Got one right. Still there. Clear all around. Clear all around.
So I mean, on equal tires. Like, I mean, I'm being patient, but I'm not getting big enough of runs that I even feel comfortable trying to make a pass most of the time, too. We've actually got passed by a car. Just wasn't for position, obviously. Just when they get caught up behind the slower cars, that's where it really comes into play. Timmy Hill and J.J. Yeller are slowing this pack up, but not as badly yet. Another tap behind Bubba Wallace in the middle of the corner. He hangs onto his car. There are a lot more cars, in fact, out of the rear view. Greg Biffle, I think a lot of the leaders have made their way back around, and obviously if Logano was only one lap down at the end of the stage, he could have a shot to get his lap back here. Well, I guess Logano's in front of us a little bit. Well, whoever's in second could have a shot at getting the lap back. We're going for the pass there on Wallace. Completes it. Right back to where he was behind Daniel Suarez. Really wants to get back out into that open traffic again. Just can't make a pass on the 99.
2 on the outside. You're 3.
Yeah. They chop down in the center of the corner to the exit at a point where you're going to want to feed it up to the wall. Contact with Suarez that time, as Biffle couldn't complete the pass either. Oh, that was almost terrible. I almost turned Eric Jones. He didn't deserve that. Pretty nice. Thanks for tuning in. Transmission needs tuned. Why? Because I'm shifting. That would be the next gen car. I've gone to the outside there. We'll see if it'll work. Jones going to give a little bit of room to Greg Biffle. Not a whole lot. It's tough because Logano's boxing Biffle in. He's not able to even get a good run when he does have a good run.
3 wide, 2 down there.
Just gets to the outside of Biffle. Yaley finally getting underneath of Greg Biffle. Biffle nearly turned off the exit of turn 4. Logano got into his left rear corner panel and about wiped him out. Definitely knocked him sideways, but if J.J. Yaley wasn't there, I think Biffle would have been turned into the inside wall. Luckily, Biffle kind of bounced off Yaley and kept it going. Logano's 2 laps down now in 16.
All right. Stay left. All clear.
Gas will work in the center of the corner.
Clear all
Works the throttle as soon as he pulled alongside Timmy Hill and then cleared him by the exit of turn 2. Ran almost 9/10 of a second quicker that last lap versus when he was stuck behind the 66 and the 55 for however many, really the first 30 laps of stage 2. .943 that last lap. A little over a tenth off our fastest lap of the race. 30 laps on our tires. I don't think we're going to get to our fastest lap. Still not as quick as what I ran in practice. I'm trying to figure out how I ran a 15.70.
Still next to you.
Zero.
Clear all around.
200's off my fastest lap in the race. You would think, and that was in the daytime too, you would think the track temps would be cooler now. Be able to run quicker.
Stay left.
Yes, I've just been in too much traffic the whole race. Handful of laps here and there, I'll catch some clean air, and that's about it.
Got one right. Clear, clear.
Yeah, somebody else mentioned that about the shifting. No, it does not sound like this in real life. I think it clicks almost as if you're in the actual car. But when, even though I'm not actually in the onboard camera angle, I think that's why it sounds like that. Like, this is not what it sounds like in person, no. That I can confirm.
Got one right.
The Plaza 78 car now holding this group up.
Stay left.
We're getting underneath of Harrison
Clear,
Burton
clear,
in the
clear.
21.
All right.
Underneath Denny Hamlin in the 11. Gonna try to get to the outside of the 11 car. Hamlin got into BJ McLeod. McLeod pitting all of a sudden. Checked Hamlin up, and luckily Biffle was on the outside because that probably would have been a wreck. We stay green. Holy hellacia. I wasn't expecting anybody to make a green flag stop randomly at lap 163. 38 laps into the stage. I mean, we're well beyond the point that everybody should have pitted by now. During the stage break or just before, as we saw. So we haven't seen anybody pit since. I mean, that was like a perfect moment for us to get in a wreck. If we didn't go to the outside to try to pass Hamlin there, it would have been a danger. We still had to check up, though, even with going to the outside, because he got into McLeod getting into the corner. McLeod fed up the racetrack or chopping back down in the center to get into the pits. See, he cycled out not too far out in front of Greg Biffle. Major check up into turns 3 and 4. Might have some more cars pitting from this pack. Yeah, we got about 3 or 4 cars that hit pit road on the backstretch, so we're going to have to be careful here. I think we're having a lot of the back markers pit randomly now, which they may not hold the pack up as much because they're going to have fresher tires. Oh, Stenhouse is pitting. Biffle makes an evasive maneuver to quickly chop to the bottom and past about 4 cars. I thought AJ was going to pit for a second the way he chopped down the middle of the corner too. He did not. Head on a swivel. Greg Biffle right now.
Clear, 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 clear.
See, this is where the survival part of the 500 laps on this game come into play. That's the only thing that I think is going to take us out of winning this race, is us getting into a crash that damages the race car severely. Whether that DNFs us or not. We haven't had a caution for incident, but we've had a couple near misses here in the last dozen laps. We still have over half the race to go.
Stay left. Car right. Clear, 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 clear.
Get to the outside of Cole Custer.
Got one left. Two inside. You're 3 wide.
AJ
Clear, clear.
Allmendinger. Oh, wow. That was a tight squeeze. Biffle got through. And back down around the bottom he goes as he closes on the 42 of Ty Dillon. I like how it says NASCAR playoffs. It's because this track is actually in the playoffs in real life, but on their custom schedule season, it's the 4th race. So. Very tight underneath Blaney. Blaney's trying to go for 3 straight top 5s. I think he's the 3rd highest driver in points right now, and the highest of those with a win of the 3 so far this season. Didn't have a good finish in the Daytona 500, but then he came back, finished 1st and 2nd in the last 2 races. Finished 3rd in Stage 1 today and is currently in 5th in Stage 2. Kyle Larson's up to 3rd now after being outside the top 20 early in the race. I'm not sure exactly who the 2nd place car is still.
All clear.
Chastain
Got one right.
and Chase Elliott both outside the top 30. They pitted before the end of the stage, I do believe. I remember seeing Kyle. I definitely remember seeing Chase Elliott pit. He was like the 2nd car that pitted. And Kyle Busch was the 1st. He's just up ahead, so he's probably barely inside the top 30 because Bell is 30th, Reddick is 29th, Hesman is 28th.
Clear all around. Clear all around. Stay left. Clear, clear, clear.
William Campbell, thanks for tuning in. The car smoking is a glitch in this game. When you go less than 100 miles per hour on a track, it smokes randomly. It's not anything to do with the engine or tires squawking. It's just a glitch. Just a visual glitch.
You're 3. Stay left. Stay left. Clear, 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 clear. One left. Stay high. Stay high.
It seems to be okay. Well, it was. If we got into the wall off turn 4, was that the 7th time we've hit the wall today? I mean, not bad considering I hit it like 4 or 5 times in the first 16 laps. I haven't gone to the outside too many more times since, though. And I should probably keep it that way. Things starting to get log jammed again. Not this game with the wheel. I played the Heat games with the wheel. I don't trust this game whatsoever. Quite frankly, I don't trust it with a controller, let alone with a wheel.
Got one right. Got one right.
We're trying not to
Clear, clear.
wreck any race cars too, not just ourselves, because
Still there.
I serve myself a penalty if I cause any cautions. Whether it's me turning the car or me spinning out that we can't pit for fuel and tires, so if everybody else pits, that could kind of put us in a
Two on the outside.
tough situation on the restart. William Byron, by the way, is in 2nd. That's who Biffle's trying to lap here. He's got about 7 or 8 cars in front of him, and that will make an easy pass for Biffle to get by Byron, so
All right, hold your line. Clear all
should be
around.
2 laps ahead of Willie B. As of right now, we haven't had any cautions for incident to trap anybody else a lap down.
All clear.
Not everybody pitted earlier in the race.
3 wide. Kept 2 up top. Got one right. Clear all around. Got one right. Got one right. All clear.
GC1424, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I know we're smoking. We're okay now. Not visually, but physics-wise, we're okay. Like the 4th person I've mentioned it. I'm well aware that the car is blowing smoke, trust me. Just a glitch. refresh and race again. I am not doing that. We're 187 laps in. I'm committed. Last thing I want to do is restart this race. We're lucky that we got off to as good of a start as we are. One stage one, currently in the lead. Led every lap since lap 29 when we took the lead. I'd like to keep it that way. By luck, we restart it and I end up finding a way to wreck out again or something stupid. Just cutting up in front of Licky. He actually had to lift off the exit of the corner with that slide job to keep it off the wall. Licky didn't try to pull off a crossover. He checked up himself. And Greg Biffle was able to get by. See, when I don't go below 100 miles an hour, the car doesn't smoke. But when you go below 100 miles an hour, it smokes. I'm in traffic. It's like as soon as I get below 100 too, they're right back to smoking.
Still there. Clear, clear.
Timmy Hill, JJ Yaley, the slow cars, holding this pack up. Same pack Biffle was in off the restart initially. Gosh, Eric Jones into the side of Greg Biffle.
Car right.
At 3/4 of the way down the front stretch.
Still next to you. Clear, clear. Stay left. Clear all around.
The car left in front of the Biff. He'll go to the top to get by Timmy Hill. And should be smooth running after that. Track feels like a mini roller coaster. This game, the way you feed it up towards the wall to back down the track, how quick the straightaways are, how much banking there is in the corners. Wish the AI were more confident to pass lap cars. This track would be so much fun in this game because I feel like we're getting some good, clean enough racing, which we don't typically see in this game, that they're just too dumbed down to pass the AI. That's the only reason we're 2 laps ahead of everybody. At the start of the race, I qualified 4th. Top 3 cars pulled away. It took us 29 laps to reel them in. We only reeled them in because of the lap traffic. And then when we lapped the field, literally the 3rd place car at the time, Joey Logano, had only lapped 1 car himself. He was still stuck behind Timmy Hill where we left off when I took the lead initially. That was after like 90 laps when we lapped the field. So it just goes to show they can't pass the AI. AI cars cannot pass AI cars, even if they're much slower, like Timmy Hill was back at 39th. Stage 1, the only reason he's gained track positions because we had some drivers pit at the end of Stage 2, and they weren't able to fall a lap down before that, so they end up gaining a lap or 2 on some of those guys. And that's why you see drivers like Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch outside the top 25 in this race. The other fast guys that were able to make it to the end of the stage on fuel, like William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, those guys were all still on the same lap. Logano pulled back on pit road during his stop, so he's been outside the top 10, but Byron and Blaney still in the top 5. Dealing a lot of contact with Greg Biffle, pretty much all the way around the corner from entrance to exit. Kept it off me that time. Would have made contact if I didn't back out of the gas again. Yeah, it's so tight.
Stay left.
Finally had enough of a checkup to get by a few cars that time.
Stay left.
And they check up big time sometimes.
All clear.
Like they can go like 3-4 laps in a row without checking up and I can't pass anybody, and then they all check up at once. And an accordion effect in the same line. I passed like 3 or 4 cars in one corner. If I time it right.
Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. Got one right. All clear.
I mean, the nice thing is the laps go by quick here. I look up at the lap counter, like after like 20, 30 laps, not realizing 20, 30 laps have gone by. I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. Like the last I looked at it was at like 187. Now it's at 205. It's kind of rewarding. There's some tracks though, like Pocono, you'll look up, be like lap 37, then you look up again thinking it's been a while, and it's like lap 48. It's like, oh geez, it feels like 30 laps passed by, really only like 12 passed by.
Clear, clear.
Back to Ryan Blaney. Back to cruising.
Got one right.
I believe this would be career win number 20 for Greg Biffle. I think he's at 19 in his NASCAR career as of his retirement. But he is back for this game. We're trying to get him career win number 20. Get him in the playoffs. Hasn't won a race in NASCAR since 2013. It'll be 9 years as of this game. Trying to break a 9-year winless streak, although he didn't race all 9 years. He retired from full-time action in 2016. But still a few years of full-time action, though, without a win at the end of his career. Last win came back in 2013 in Michigan. Lifts to keep it off. Chastain got a bit loose that time off the exit of the corner. I saw the rear of the car kind of snap on me. All of a sudden, got 84 laps on these tires. Cars get more tight earlier, but I'm looking down at the tire wear indicator. It looks like the right rear is burning up a lot more than what it was back in stage 1. Almost got by Biffle on the outside. So he got checked up behind Chastain, and Chastain allowed for Biffle to get underneath himself and get back by the 48. Chase Elliott, 32nd, going to fall back another spot. Chris Buescher, who was in the top 5 in the beginning of this race, really fast early on as well. Trying to get by Hesmans. Body slams Biffle going off into turn 1. Biffle stayed in the gas and was able to get by both him and Hesmans still, despite the contact getting in from the 17 car. Heritage Unit guy, thanks for tuning in. Oh boy, overcooked it there. Thought I set it to the wall. So we'll be exactly halfway done with this race at the end of stage 2. First 2 stages will reach 125 laps, so the final stage will be 250 to the end. And we know we can make it on fuel. The AI have problems making it on fuel to the end of the stage. Some drivers were able to make it, some were not. So we'll probably see that again here at the end of stage 2. That scared the crap out of me. Is that a pit gun going off randomly? Why was that so loud? I've had that on a road. I think I had that at Sonoma.
Clear, clear.
I was just talking. It was just so loud. Got air guns going off. Almost didn't feel like it was from the game at first. It felt like it was like behind me.
Alright, hold your line. Still next to you.
It's your twerking zone.
Alright, hold your line.
Drill sound.
Clear, clear, clear. 3 wide, 2 outside. Car right. All clear.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that on an oval. You know, I've had it on a road course before. Who had the longest career? Of those guys, Jeff Gordon probably. Rusty raced for a long time, but Gordon was a rookie, and I mean, he ran his first Cup race in '92.
Stay left. Clear, clear.
Didn't retire till even ran some races 2016 part-time for Dale Jr. when he was concussed.
Got one right. Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear, clear.
Yeah, Greg Biffle's actually got 5 paint schemes. This is the second time I've ran this one. This is probably my favorite of them, but I'll get through them all here over the course of the season, alternate them. We got this. He's got like 3 college schemes. He's got Grambling State, I think Moorhead State, and Norfolk State. And then he's just got like a Chevy paint scheme, which looks like a test car pretty much. And then there's another one. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Got one right. All clear. All clear.
Honestly, just remembered the Chevy scheme and this scheme. I didn't realize he had 5 of them. I think he only ran like 5 or 6 races, but I didn't realize he had a different scheme almost every race. Unless he ran more races than what I thought he did last year.
Car right.
But it was all at the very beginning of the season. I think the last one he ran was Talladega, but he didn't run every race between Talladega all the way to the end. Like, I think when they went out west, he only ran like 1 of those races. I think the only one he ran was Vegas. Either Vegas or Auto Club. Brownie 13, thanks for tuning in. Why am I playing this? So I was determined to do 2 seasons of this game. We finished 1 during the off season, and I wanted to do like a makeshift custom schedule season. This was before I realized how bad, even really honestly, this part of the game is worse than NASCAR 21 Ignition. I didn't think it could get worse. The driving of the cars itself and the AI are better, but the other glitches that go along with it kind of make it a little bit worse. I should say the AI are a little dumbed down compared to what they were in 21 Ignition, but at least they don't run through you. Like, that's the only thing they don't do, but they don't run through you to the point that they're so hesitant just to pass other AI cars, and that's the problem you're seeing on most of the short tracks in this game, especially Bristol, which seems to be the worst. This and Martinsville. Richmond they can pass. I mean, when they're not wrecking each other, at least. They're not wrecking every lap they can pass. Like, by yourself to drive the car around a track, I think it's more fun than the 21 Ignition side. Like, if you were literally in like a test session mode every lap versus a test session mode in NASCAR 21 Ignition, I think it's better. With other cars on the track, I don't think it is. "20 laps to go, stage 2, this time by. Greg Biffle will maximize stage points and win both stages in the race. It'll be the first driver to win both stages in a race this season. It'll be his 4th stage win. Trying to get that first race win. After an abysmal start to the year, try to climb back into the top 30 and may need 2 wins to get into the playoffs, especially with the rough start through the first 3 races. Outside of stage points, it can only carry you so far if you're not getting good finishes. And it has carried us to, I believe we're like 33rd or 34th in points, so it hasn't really carried us much.
Got one right.
It kept us from being last, I'll tell you that much. I think the only driver that'd be behind us is Timmy Hill because he didn't run every race. He got 1 point in 2 races, and he didn't run the 3rd. He's in 24th today. So he might climb himself out of last, depending on where the other backmarker cars are in the field. But he'd literally be the only driver behind us in points. We'd be 39th if I didn't score any stage points. And with that, I would be 34 points behind where I actually am, points-wise in the standings. Oh my gosh, here's the air gun. Is that going to just keep going off like every 10 to 15 laps to the end of this race? Because we got a lot of laps left. That's going to get annoying very fast. It scares me because you don't know when it's coming. Oh, yeah, a little contact there with Harrison Burton, nothing too much.
Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Car right. Still next to you.
Curious to know if Biffle will end up catching William Byron before the end of the stage again. Assuming Byron makes it on fuel. And we definitely know that there's going to be some cars pitting before the end of this stage as well, so we're definitely going to have to be careful. It'd be nice to clear all these guys before that, just in case.
Clear, clear, clear.
Car was loose in the middle of the stage, and now it's really starting to tighten up again. Kind of like it was at the end of the last stage. 100 laps. I'm on 4 tires. Should just be a 3-stop race, so if we don't get any cautions for incident.
Got one right. Still next to you. Clear all around.
Custer chops Greg Biffle down.
Got one right. Got one right.
Contact
Clear,
there.
clear, clear. Got one right.
Ty Dillon is in 6th place.
Clear, clear, clear.
He's in the
Got
top
one
16
right.
in points, and he's having himself a solid day. I think he got a couple stage points back in stage 1, looking for more than that at stage number 2. What a start to the season he's having. Linda Larson. We know William Byron's in 2nd. Larson is 3 laps down, now in 3rd. Not sure where Byron's at on the track. It's going to be tough for Greg Biffle to get to him before the end of the stage. Mainly because we don't even know exactly where he's at on track.
Car right. Clear, clear.
Shifted a little early. Elliott trying to turn himself. Off the front bumper of Greg Biffle's race car. Almost caused a late stage yellow. He was really trying.
Stay left. Clear, clear.
I think he's going to blame it on the broken leg. It's not healed properly yet. Oh my gosh, Chris Buescher.
Got one right.
Hit Biffle even harder.
Still there. Still there. Still there.
We're going to get by Hesmans. Kyle Busch on pit road. Man, this car's really tight. I feel like it's almost tighter than what it was back in the last stage. Might have a little more damage on the right front with making contact with other cars. That could be. Even though visually it doesn't really look like there's damage, there's got to be some. 5 to go. Still don't see Byron anywhere.
Only a few laps till we pit.
Larson remains in 3rd. Couple cars on pit road. I couldn't tell. I think Byron might have just pitted. Well, Larson still scored in 3rd, so maybe not. 2 to go this time by. Oh no, he did not pit. Byron is 3 cars in front of Biffle. I don't think Biffle's going to get there though. He's only got 2 laps. The car is really tight. If we get somebody to pit and they check up enough, maybe we can get to Byron. Be nice to put him 3 laps down before the end of the stage. And there might still be a chance. Biffle's going to pull right in line behind Byron off turn 4. He's got 1 more lap to put him a 3rd lap down. And they're checking up enough in front of him that Byron is going to lose that lap. Biffle has cleared him off turn 2. Oh, he's going to get stuck to the outside. Oh, they are pitting. That would be why. Log jam Biffle in the wall off turn 4, but he wins the stage. Oh my gosh. Stage 2 winner there. That was a little climactic there at the very finish, but Greg Biffle wins stage 2. He'll sweep the stages tonight at Bristol. William Byron going to end up in 2nd place. Ryan Blaney 3rd. Austin Cindric 4th. Ty Dillon 5th. Ty Dillon, top 5 at Bristol. It's caution-free Bristol, not because of anything weird. Well, kind of weird because we do have cars pitting at the end of the stages, but needless to say, on speed though, he looks pretty good. Cole Custer, 6th. He's had 2 top 10s this season. He's off to a good start. Also, Kurt Busch, 7th. Big bounce-back performance so far for him. Stage points in full stages. Martin Truex Jr. in 8th. Kyle Larson fell back to 9th. I think he pitted before the end of the stage, but still got 2 stage points after none in stage 1. And Mike McDowell rounds out the top 10 in stage 2 today. So we will pit during the stage break. No adjustments again, and we'll take 4 tires and fuel and get this final stage rather underway.
Watch the light. close.
Denny Hamlin stealing the air gun like she turned off his monitor during iRacing in 2020. Maybe it is. That seems like something Denny Hamlin's daughter may do. Alright, so 250 to go. We're halfway home at Bristol tonight. Green flag back in the air. Final stage underway, and there is a massive checkup getting into the first turn. Biffle didn't even get out of third gear yet. Contact with Corey LaJoy. A lot of contact going on. Oh boy, Biffle back in the gas way too soon there. More contact with LaJoy. I can't even get up to fifth gear right now. There we go. Oh, quickly back down to fourth again. They're checking up so much. A lot of leanage going on. 3 wide. First time today. Contact. McDowell got squeezed into the wall by Kurt Busch and Greg Biffle. They made contact in the middle of the corner when they were 3 wide underneath. We stayed green though.
3 wide, got 2 up
Hope
top.
and pray. Hope and pray. 3 wide. Off the exit of the corner again. Contact. Custer.
You're 3. Stay left. The 3 wide.
Byron.
2 up top. 3 wide. Got 2 up top. 2 on the outside.
Biffle down on the apron, just trying not to make contact with anybody. Byron slips by. I'm in third gear, like almost all the way that last lap. I'm getting up to speed.
Car right.
This has definitely been the messiest restart so far today. It'd be nice if we were actually in front of the field, you know, because we're in the lead. No, we have to restart it behind everybody. You definitely tell there's some cars that didn't pit during the stage break. A lot of the back markers pitted like midway through the last stage though, like they were able to manage a lot more fuel, so I wonder if that'll be the case again here in stage 2. Because there is no way BJ McLeod, who was holding everybody up, is...
Car right. 3 wide. Got 2 up top. All clear.
So Dylan
Got 1
gets
right.
Smithley making contact. Dylan got a piece of the wall. Smithley almost got turned halfway down the front straightaway. Wallace trying to get by Smithley, not doing a great job, as we've seen from a lot of guys today, and Biffle will just get by and bolt on the outside. Alright, well that was a little chaotic for 8 laps. Cody Ware definitely hasn't pitted yet either. Alright. Yeah, we're going to end up winning this race by a lot of laps, I'd have to imagine. The AI literally will not pass anybody. We have the lead, so if we do get any cautions for incident, it's only going to trap everybody else further a lap down because of the scoring glitch, so... We're kind of lucky we haven't had a caution in this race. It's keeping them within a few laps at least. We should have been 3 laps ahead at the end of stage 2. We lapped them once at stage 1, then twice in the second stage. I feel more comfortable on where to pass the lap cars, so I was able to get around them twice. They are stopping in turn 3. 80 miles an hour in the middle of the corner at Bristol. No wonder we've lapped the field so many times. And that's going on. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's just... He's trying to get out of Dodge. This is where we may not finish the race. I'm just pulling down low because I don't want to run over anybody in front of me and hope that I don't get ran over from behind, too.
Stay left, clear, clear.
Heavy contact between Almirola and Kyle Larson.
All clear. 3 wide, 2 outside. Stay left.
Oh, wow. Larson almost got turned by Biffle. Yeah, there is no safe way to get around this. We have to pass it. I can't be patient because everybody just nearly stops
3 wide, 2 outside. Clear all
going
around.
into the corner.
Got 1 right.
This is unethical.
Clear all around.
Could you imagine if this actually happened at Bristol? I'm just going to chop it off to the apron. That's the safest way to get around everybody. Be patient, and then when they get into the corner and check up, just go down to the apron.
2 on the outside.
Oh,
You're
I
free.
hit him.
All clear.
I hit something down there. About knocked the car sideways. Climbing the banking at that degree, probably
Stay left.
that got me a little
Clear all around.
bit loose.
Stay left. 2 on the outside. You're
There
free.
aren't
2
as
on
many
the
cars in
outside.
front of
You're
us, so it's
free.
somewhat
All
manageable
clear.
now. Maybe.
All right. 3 wide, 2 outside.
I shouldn't be
All right, hold your
downshifting to
line.
third
All right,
gear.
hold your line. All clear. All clear.
A bit too thick. But we should be going below 80 miles an hour in the center of the corner.
2 on the outside. You're free.
Wide, Hesman's Truex making contact up near the wall.
3 wide, 2 outside.
We'll just try to stay away from him. And sure enough, it's BJ McLeod at the front of it all again. Right where we left off. Literally nobody has passed him. Bubba Wallace is still the first car behind him. Nobody has passed BJ McLeod in the first 21 laps. Well, this is exactly what I mean by the AI do not pass each other at this track on this game. There are some tracks they do, but most tracks, honestly, the intermediates,
Car right.
they don't really have too much of a problem passing them. Short tracks, though, it is so difficult for them.
3 wide, 2 outside.
It doesn't help he's lane changing in the center of the corner. Usually when a car is well off the pace, they're pretty good with trying to hold one lane. He's going from bottom to top. He's diving to the corners off like I am, but he's going half the speed. Cody Ware's pretty slow too, but he's not as slow as BJ McLeod.
Clear all around.
Well, we know we can go 125 laps on fuel, 250 laps on the stage, so we're going to pit right at lap 125. Got a few laps on these guys, so I'm not too worried about having to make a green flag pit stop if we don't get a caution. I will stay out to that lap, just to make sure we can make it to the end. But we should be good to go for 125 laps both runs. Alright, take 3. We have lapped the field twice in this stage alone in 28 laps.
3 wide.
Because
2
they are
outside.
driving
Got 1 right. Got 1 right. Still there.
like my grandma on a Sunday afternoon after she's had cataract surgery.
Clear all around. Clear all around. Got 1 right. Clear, clear. Car right. All clear. Wide, got 2 up top, stay left, clear, clear. Got 1 right. Clear, clear.
Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We've had upwards of over 60 people watching the stream tonight. Greatly appreciate it. We'll be racing NASCAR 22 again tomorrow as well. I believe our next race of this season will be at Auto Club tomorrow night. We'll start it at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time once again, just like tonight's stream. So we'll be racing at Auto Club. I do know that track is a lot more competitive from the AI. Had a lot of fun there. It was actually one of the better races on our first season, and it was the second race. It'll be race 5 for a custom schedule season. So we'll see what we can do. Michigan was pretty good up until that glitch, so hopefully we don't have the same glitch happen there when we make a green flag pit stop in the final stage. But As long as it doesn't happen, I think it's going to be a pretty good show. So tune in tomorrow night for that. And we'll hope that we can make it to the end of this one today. Daniel Suarez, Michael McDowell still don't like each other. Feuding since Phoenix and what was that, 2020 when they got in a fight qualifying? I remember session qualifying on the ovals. Be the only time you could possibly find a way for NASCAR drivers to fight each other after a qualifying session. Oh, big contact, Austin Dillon and BJ, or rather 77, Josh Bilicki. We have passed these guys literally 3 times in 35 laps. And nobody is going to pass BJ McLeod. They're going to have to wait for him to pit, which could be any lap, really. I mean, they pitted at lap 38 in the last stage. Well, sending it all 4 tires down below the lighter colored concrete down to the black colored concrete on the bottom. Painted. Is it painted or is that actually asphalt on the bottom of the racetrack? I honestly don't know. I feel like the whole track is concrete. Like, why would you have asphalt at the bottom and then concrete at the top? The pit boxes themselves are whiter.
Car right. All clear.
How many laps am I leading by? I don't even know. There isn't a interval that... I'm going to guess I'm ahead by at least 4 laps. 5, actually. At least... Well... Yeah, 4 or 5. I'm 4 or 5 laps ahead. Probably leaning more towards 5. I'll take an easy win after our first 3 races. Our average finish is a 39.3, and I haven't adjusted the difficulty, so we're lucking out at Bristol today. Hopefully, we have a couple more races like this just to get us back into contention for the regular season championship. And an easier route through the playoffs with more playoff points at the very least. Even if we can't win the regular season title, get back in the top 10. Try to maximize on our stage wins and race wins.
2 on the outside.
With everybody being slower as they are today. It's not that they're slower, they're just stuck behind the slow cars at the tail end of the field. That's literally all it is. Because we didn't even qualify first, we qualified 4th.
Car right. Hold your line.
And I didn't lead the first 29 laps as a result, but the top 3 pulling away off the start from us.
2 on the outside. You're 3. Stay left. Clear all around. Got 1 right.
You know they're going... Oh my gosh.
Car right.
Well, a lot of them got by J.J. Yaley because he's kind of holding up a second group. Now they are pitting. They have to be pitting. There is no caution. Yeah, there's a caution somewhere. They were 50 miles an hour in the middle of the corner. That was more than a checkup. And we finally have our first caution for incident in the race today. I don't know what was going on with my car there, but first caution for incident today. Green flag back in the air, lap 50 of this stage, so lap 300 to 500 total. And that has probably lapped the field another time with the scoring glitch. Everybody from 4th on back seems to have gotten lapped at extra time. I think 2nd and 3rd are probably a full lap ahead of Austin Cindric in 4th now. I'm surprised there isn't more damage on the front of this race car, because that seemed like a pretty hard hit into whoever that was that we ran into. I can't really remember. And we've got another caution. So back-to-back cautions here at Bristol, our 3rd and 4th of the race. And our first 2 for incident. He's just going to continue to stay out here, because he doesn't need to pit, and he's not going to pit to put himself back in traffic any more than he needs to be until he knows he can make it on field to the end of the race. Yeah, I won the first 2 stages. You're just tuning in, by the way. Ethan Communist Legos. It's asphalt at Dover, too. Oh, so it is pit lanes to be asphalt? Gotcha. Yeah, that could be. I know the pit boxes themselves are concrete, but I think that's because they could get a better launch off of pit road, because there are a lot of tracks that actually do have concrete in their pit boxes rather than asphalt. I just saw BJ McLeod drive straight into the inside wall on pit road. Kind of similar to how I did in the last race. The glitch only he hit like the outside wall coming out of the pit box. I hit the inside wall leaving my box somehow. All the slower cars are pitting now, so shouldn't be as bad on the freight train. They'll still get trained up around whoever the next slowest car is. But it won't be as bad as it was. Oh my gosh!
All clear.
Driving like a bunch of 15-year-olds practicing for their driver's test for the first time. They're like the maneuverability test when they're like going through the cones and stuff. That's how they drive in this game when they come off the pit road. Be knocking over all the cones. They just keep going though, just they're like mini speed bumps.
Clear all around. Stay left. Still there. Clear all around. Stay left. Stay left. Still there. Still next to you.
Oh. Yeah, they're I've noticed in this final stage they've crowded me a lot more than what they did in the first two stages of the race. Corner entry. Like, they give me zero room. At least they gave me a little bit of room. First couple stages, I was able to make a lot of passes without having contact. Eric Jones hit us on the right rear. That could have turned Biffle. Did not, thankfully, and he keeps driving on.
Got one right.
Hasn't been holding up this group.
All clear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been down around 50 a couple times, so.
Got one right. All clear.
Somewhat reasonable speeds for a driver's test. Well, we aren't going to get through this race caution-free. I was thinking we honestly were going to, but then we had a couple cautions randomly in the middle of the stage. Wonder if we may see some more when we get to green flag pit stops and actually cycle all the way through. That would be interesting. It happened when all the back markers were pitting.
Stay left.
Not all of them, because Hesman's obviously has them still. They're still holding everybody up. So even though they're slower on fresher tires, they can at least keep some pace. Probably equal with those on the older tires, you'd have to imagine. They go that far off the pace. I'd like to believe they weren't, at least. They could have been.
Clear, clear, clear.
I mean, like, BJ McLeod's holding on fine. He was the first car holding up that pack for the entirety of the first 50 laps of the stage before we got the caution. He's actually difficult to pass. For our driver, Greg Biffle, who's dominated this race. We've led laps, we just haven't got the finishes to show for it. Be the first top 10 of the year. Potentially the first win to go along with it. They'll give us 9 playoff points. I think that's more than any other driver because we have more stage wins already, and if we can finally get a race win to match the other 3 drivers that do have a race win. More playoff points. For 4 races, obviously, we still got a long ways to go. It's a good start. Just gotta work our way up in the point standings. Try to get more. Obviously, have to be in the top 30, so there's that. And we know the road courses are going to be tough. And I think we have 5 of them in the regular season. We just haven't gone to any yet. The reason why I say that is because of the pit road glitch. We didn't have it at Watkins Glen, but we had it at every other road course, so it's going to be interesting to see how that'll go. We'll have to pit during the stage breaks and then take fuel only during green flag pit stops and Hope we can make it to the end on tires in the final stage without having to pit for tires.
Clear, clear, clear.
We're going to be giving up a lot of time on old tires regardless,
All
but
right. Clear,
we're giving
clear,
up
clear.
even more time if we pit it for tires because we're like 9 to 10 seconds off the pace every time. We'll worry about that when we get there, though. We still have a little bit of a chunk of the season before we get to the first road race.
All right.
A lot of ovals in the first portion of the season. And a couple in the playoffs, too. I think we have 7 total because I think I go to the Roval twice. And every other road course once, so I think I have 7 road courses on the custom schedule season. So we have the Roval after before the 600.
Two on the outside. You're 3.
And then have it in the round of 8 of the playoffs also.
Stay left. Clear, clear.
Diving it underneath Timmy Hill. Cody Ware. Timmy Hill up to 21st because of pit strategy and the fact that nobody's able to pass him when he's slower. So track position by way of pit strategy definitely working out for those back markers. Timmy Hill might get himself a top 20 finish at Bristol. The Cup Series. He's already outrunning guys like Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell. 3 of the 4 guys that were in the championship 4 last season. Just hit a little over 50 likes on the stream, so thanks for everybody hitting that like button. Again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Got live race commentary streams on the race weekend for the Truck Xfinity and Cup Series, so if you've been a part of those streams over the last few weeks, this is what we kind of do during the week, just kind of leading up to the race weekend.
Stay left.
Working along some other sides of racing virtually, at least. Getting some more repetition in from my commentary and trying to give you guys some, obviously, extra content along the way with it that you would enjoy. And we have Throwback Thursday live streams every Thursday. We watch a classic NASCAR race. This weekend we'll be watching a classic Phoenix race with them going to Phoenix this weekend. You can vote on that in the community tab. There is a poll open for you to vote for which race, classic Phoenix race you want to watch this weekend.
Car right.
That'll be Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Build next to you. Clear all around. Stay left.
Just had the Xfinity and the Cup Series. Our Xfinity race live stream this weekend will be at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Saturday afternoon, and then 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday we'll go live for the NASCAR Cup race at Phoenix. By the way, our most watched live stream for the Xfinity Series ever on the channel, the few we did last year, the one back in 2021 as a test stream when I started the commentaries at the end of the season, and then also the first couple races this year, which includes Daytona, which was a big weekend in general for the channel viewership-wise, but we had more people watching the Xfinity race this weekend than even Daytona at the start of the year, so appreciate everybody that came out for that stream. I don't know what the total views were, because it usually takes like 48 hours for the analytics to update, so that'll be updated tonight for that race. But concurrent viewers-wise, we had over 300 people, I know for a fact, watching that race by the end. And Daytona, I think we only hit like 215, 220 or something like that, so greatly appreciate everybody tuning in. I know total views, it was up over it too. It hasn't fully calculated yet, it was already more than Daytona, so appreciate you guys supporting the channel, watching the live commentary streams every weekend. Those are huge for the channel. It's what keeps me doing this YouTube channel, because for 2 reasons. One, it gives me added motivation that I can do a good commentating job. You guys love to hear my commentary, and that drives me, because that's the end-all goal with me starting this channel, is to go somewhere with that in the NASCAR realms. And then number 2, that financially, it helps me on the weekends to be able to do those streams, because I cut back on hours on my full-time job during the NASCAR season, and to make up with that, I have to get the views, you know, for the AdSense on the race weekends. We're doing more streams of the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup to accommodate and more than make up for it. So far, through 3 races, that has been the case. So it was kind of like a short-term schedule change to see how it is, you know, for the first few months, and I was banking on it being good so I could do it the full season, and it's really looking like it's going to be well worth it. So I appreciate you guys tuning in this weekend. Yeah, you keep doing that, I'll be bringing you the content on a consistent basis on the weekend still, so all throughout the weekend instead of just the Cup Series like last year's. Appreciate it. I know I say thank you a lot for that, but it's because I really do mean it, whether it's in the community tabs, and it's not, you know, me gloating about it, it's me being excited about it, excited, you know, for myself, excited for, you know, you guys, because I get to keep doing it, and I know a lot of you guys, a lot of people rely on my commentary to know what's going on with the race, especially with the races on FS1 or USA Network, which all the Xfinity and truck races are. I think the Xfinity Series has like 3 or 4 races on Big NBC at the end of the year, but I know during the Fox coverage they're all on FS1, so it probably has a lot to do with, you know, people tuning in because they don't have any way of watching the race. So, you know, that's an extra way for you guys to be able to maybe not watch it, but to listen to it in a different form than what maybe you're used to. Robin Dunn, thanks for tuning in, by the way. Oh boy, a lot of contact there with Hesmans and Biffle. We get through. Quarter tank of gas left right now. Almost 100 laps into stage 3.
Got one right. Clear, clear, clear.
And Stevens, thanks for tuning in. Almost got in the wall there. Austin Dillon coming off the pit road. Making an early stop in the stage. 25 more laps and Greg Biff will make his 3rd and final stop of the day. How's it been? What, the race itself? I mean, from a battling standpoint, not so good. In the sense that we've been dominating this race. Good for me in the point standings, considering how terrible of a start I had the first 3 races. It depends on which way you kind of look at it. Just having issues with the AI passing other AI cars, so they get stuck behind really slow cars in lap traffic, and literally they do not pass them at all. Causes an accordion effect, like you're seeing again right in front of us here, and Biffle's been able to make multiple laps up of time over the leaders, so he's got at least a 5-lap lead on the field right now as a result of that. Looking to keep that way to the very end.
All clear. Got one right. Clear, clear.
After Kurt Busch. Get through these guys before potential pit stops.
Clear all around. Stay left.
Seen 4 cautions total in today's race. 2 stage breaks and 2 cautions per incident. Both cautions per incident in the middle. Well, it's somewhat early going, I guess, technically, this final stage, just over 50 laps in.
Got one right.
So our longest green flag runs have been the actual stages themselves of 125 laps each. Last one green at lap 57, following our 4th yellow of the day. Lap 57 to the final stage, I should say. So we're about 50 laps into this green flag run, which is where we saw the slew of cautions coming out there back to back early in the stage.
Car right.
Kyle Busch back to 35th. AJ Allmendinger up to 3rd, meanwhile. But the Dinger having himself a day.
Got one right. Still there. Clear, clear.
Don't say that yet. We still have to make a green flag stop. We saw what happened at Michigan. It is making me a little nervous knowing it's coming. I mean, we shouldn't have any issues. We didn't have any major issues before Michigan with that kind of a glitch.
Clear all around.
Really hope that's not going to be a consistent bug, because
Clear, clear.
we can't make a green flag pit stop at all in this game. That's going to be problematic. Larson up to second place, rallying after being outside the top 20 at the end of stage 1. He finished 9th at the end of stage 2. Says high in the running order as he's been. He's up to 3rd at one point in the second stage before falling back to 9th, pitting late. Ty Dillon still in the top 10 at 7th. Finished 5th at the end of the second stage. Ran into there from behind by Greg Biffle. Getting into Justin Haley in the middle of 3 and 4 also. Timmy Hill and Cody Ware, the 2 cars slow in this pack up. Primarily Timmy Hill.
Got one right.
I think Cody Ware has pressure tires on 66. He's made a green flag stop during this run. Hill has not. He will be shortly, and Biffle's about 10 laps away from pitting himself.
Stay left, 2 on the outside. You're 3.
To get a caution right at the halfway mark, which would be ideal. But at least I know that we've got at least a 6-lap lead on the field right now, so I'm not worried about making a green flag pit stop because of losing time. I'm worried about it because of a potential glitch. Even though I should have no reason to worry about it, knowing this game, that could be the difference of me winning this race or not. So the only time I tried to look for avenues to reach out to NASCAR specifically was when I heard that Vince Welch was gone for box and figured that there was a truck spot open. I was honestly trying to find a way to get in, and I was having no luck with that. So here I am, which I kind of figured. I honestly, when that news first broke, I pretty much knew that Jamie Little was going to cover the truck races.
Only a few laps.
Well, she's not covering them all, because she's still covering ARCA too. So I think the weekends that ARCA isn't racing, she's doing the trucks like she did this last weekend with the main ARCA series, not like the ARCA East and West. But when main ARCA is not racing that specific weekend, I think she's doing the trucks that weekend, and then Adam Alexander will be doing it the other weekends as he did at Daytona, but then at Vegas rather. Jamie Little covered the race. So Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think ARCA races there. So with that being the case, I'm pretty sure. Well, then again, though, there's 2 races in one day, so that's a little different also, because they both race Saturday for truck and Xfinity, so maybe Jamie Little will do one, so Adam Alexander's not doing both, because he might lose his voice by the end of both. I'm going to have to do both. And I remember from the Cup race at Auto Club, it was a little weird at the end of it. It wasn't sounding weird. It felt like it was going to go out soon, so it's pretty tough to do 2 races in one day. I'm doing more talking, though, because I'm the only person that talks during the live streams, so there's that. Versus, obviously, he's got other guys to feed off of.
Car right.
Commercial breaks.
Clear all around. We'll be pitting in about 5 laps. We'll be pitting in about 5 laps.
So
Car
about
right.
2 laps away here for Greg Biffle from making a stop. Because he qualified 4th, his pit box will be on the front stretch. Now in practice, I did practice making a green flag stop just in case I had to in this race. I knew the only chance was likely going to have to be in the final stage for that to end up taking place, and it is looking more and more likely that that is going to end up happening here very soon.
2 on the outside. You're 3. Clear,
To the
clear.
inside of Hesmans. We're halfway through the final stage. Still down to about 125 laps to go total.
Got one right.
Today's Bristol night race on NASCAR 22. Back out in the clean air. Didn't pit right at lap 125. Still has a little bit more fuel left. We do have cars on pit road right now as we
5 laps of
speak.
fuel left.
Biffle will stay out one more lap. He'll pit at lap 128. A couple laps, this is as far as he's gone on fuel and tires all day.
5 laps
Had a
of
couple
fuel left.
cautions in between this run, so that's part of the reason he's able to go just a little bit longer. Actually, probably could have went a little longer than this even. But he's not going to risk it anymore. On to pit road comes Greg Biffle. It'll be 4 tires of fuel, no adjustments. Third and final stop of the day for himself right now. And we will have exactly 122 laps to go when he leaves the pits. So Biffle is in. You've got to go. I really hope they didn't have. I mean, Blaney's crew was invisible. We just turned Ryan Blaney on pit road while he was in his box still.
Car right. Clear, clear, clear.
I did not have any control of that. We're back out on the track. Well, there was a glitch, but it wasn't the glitch that took us out of it. I thought I was going to get stuck on Blaney. These guys can be penny at any given moment. It's just got to be on the brakes a little more in the center of the corner. So that way he doesn't have to mash them as hard when they come down. He'll still have to get on the binders, but just be prepared for it.
Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Three wide. You have 2 up top. Stay left. Stay left.
Contact with Cole Custer.
All right, hold your line. Clear, clear, clear.
Thought everybody was coming in at once there. More contact now with Michael McDowell.
Clear all around.
If we're going to the outside, that can be troublesome though. Denny Hamlin underneath him now. Whipple into the wall off turn 4.
Stay right. 3 wide. You're up top. All clear.
You might want to get back down to the bottom.
Got 1 left.
And this will be safe if they all
Got
check
1
up.
left. Got 1 left.
Maybe. I mean, it has been the first couple times that has been the case.
Car right. All clear. Got 1 left. Low. Still next to you. All clear. Stay right. 2 inside. You're 3 wide. Still next to you.
Contact between Keselowski and Biffle. Biffle gets by, and there's BJ McLeod getting ready to slow everybody up again. And Biffle turns down,
All clear.
gets around him. Huxman 1, 2, 3 Sims, thanks for tuning in. Go faster. I'm trying. Giving it all she's got.
Car right. Clear all around.
Man, BJ just slows his field up so much when he's on the lower tires. I mean, we literally just ran a full lap and already caught him. Well, caught the pack that was behind him. Still ahead of it all. Ridiculous. I mean, what did we run? Like 6 laps? Log jam. Between Hesmond and Kurt Busch. I don't know. know how many cars have exactly pit yet. I would imagine most of them have probably already made their stop.
Get you up top.
I mean, I hope Roger stays. I honestly think he will.
Stay left.
I didn't think so. So 2 years ago, I thought he was going to stay. Last year, because I knew his contract was up,
All right.
I was a little less lenient on him staying. This year, who's going to take on that payroll? And whoever does, they're not going to be able to expand beyond that to help, like, build the team around him. So he's got to go to a team that's already contending, and all the teams, in my personal opinion, that are already Super Bowl contenders, they have quarterbacks. So I personally think that Rodgers is staying for all those reasons.
Clear all around. Clear, clear, clear.
I don't buy into the media hype. I can't even do that with, like, NASCAR either when it comes to silly season stuff. I don't go off the rumor mills. I just kind of wait until it happens and take everything with a grain of salt, whatever I hear before that. So how many rumors do you hear all the time in any sport about someone going somewhere, and the majority of the time it doesn't even end up happening, or they go to a completely different team that wasn't that. Just because somebody offered them more money majority of the time. But we'll see. Oh my gosh.
Clear, clear.
That closing rate. Something else there.
Clear, clear. Got one right. Got one right. Got one right.
Banging fenders with Eric out rolling.
All clear. Car right. Clear, clear. Got one right.
Feel like this game's on easy mode.
Clear, clear, clear. Two on the outside. You're three. Stay left. All clear.
DJ Yaley's slowing everybody up right now.
Two on the outside. You're three. Got one right. Clear all around. Stay left. Got one right. Clear, clear. Car right. All clear.
I didn't get through him cleaner that time. Probably because I got through him so much faster.
All clear.
Yeah, JJ Yaley and BJ McLeod just holding the entire field up a ton right now. Just trying to survive the final 99 laps of this race. 401 complete out of 500. Still may get more cautions before the end. We've had 2 cautions in this stage alone. Almost a 100 lap green flag run right now. We've got 4 cautions total today. Definitely be the longest green flag run to the end of the race if it did stay green from the last restart. Which was with a little less than 200 laps to go. Last restart at lap 314.
Stay left.
Rather 307.
Got one right.
307, 308.
All
Because
clear.
I think it was lap 57 stage, so yeah, it would have been lap 307.
Clear, clear, clear.
That's when we last had a restart.
Still there. All clear. Car right. Clear all around.
A lot more cars actually passed Cody Ware though last time. Not BJ McLeod though. Only Cody.
Car right. Clear, clear. Car right. Clear, clear, clear.
Definitely been a lot more impatient in this stage. I'm not riding around. I mean, I'm already down to 90 miles an hour trying to keep it off of everybody as it is. I could check up even slower than that, and I'm choosing not to. As long as we don't turn anybody. It was actually Garrett Smithley that time who was holding everybody up, not BJ McLeod. So that was a completely different pack. Split up into a couple different groups. This is the tail end of the BJ McLeod pack. Similar paint schemes from far away, the 15 and the 78 cars.
Got one right. Clear all around.
Timmy Hill up to 17th place.
Got one right. Clear, clear. Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Stay left, stay left. Clear all around. Stay left. 3 wide. 2 outside. Clear, clear. Got one right. Clear, clear, clear. Clear. Got one right. Got one right.
Yeah, this is the Liam McLeod pack.
Still there. Clear all around. Clear all around. Stay left. All clear.
Hopefully gets through it again. Notice every stage they've got slower and slower too. Stage 1 they weren't that slow, we only lapped the field once, and then stage 2 we lapped it twice, and we've already lapped them I don't even know how many times in stage 3. Granted stage 3 was even longer, but we probably lapped them like 8 times already. No joke. Alternate through the different camera angles one final time in today's race. Up to these guys. We gotta back way off the pace here for a moment. Because I feel like it. And as I see cars coming out of the rear view, it's if nobody's gonna pass McLeod, they're definitely not gonna catch me. If I get back into the gas at a certain point, just gonna leisurely drive around at Bristol because I can. I'd rather do this in no man's land and not tear the car up. Just driving 4th gear the whole time, honestly. Like not even using any gas, just kind of coasting out of the throttle. Yeah, that's probably. I probably should use a little bit of brakes. That didn't work out according to plan. I did not blow a tire, thankfully. A little bit of damage on the front of the car, not too much though. Could be worse. Not as bad as the first few races, I'll tell you that much. I mean, even kind of coasting my way around this track. 1.7 seconds off my fastest lap of the race. I'm still closing in on this pack. That's how slow they all are. Off the pace again. I don't like riding around, I like going full speed. Just back far enough out of it, go full speed for like 3-4 laps, and then roll back out of it again. I mean, there's such a massive gap between cars, and they're not going anywhere. Already got a big enough of a lead over everybody else too, so doesn't hurt anything. It does kind of seem like this second group is slowly closing in. On the first group.
Car right. Clear, clear, clear.
I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. I mean, I could probably do it the rest of the race if I really wanted to. I know you guys probably don't care for this too much, but I really just don't want to do anything stupid to the very end. We ran good for about 400 plus laps. And now we at least have a little bit of breathing room by Bristol standards. Try to use it as much as we possibly can. Try to maximize that. Spotter's like, what are you doing? You should know exactly what I'm doing. Try not to mess this up for everybody. You should be thankful I've wheeled this New York racing car to a dominant performance at Bristol of all tracks. Plenty at the tail end of this pack now. We've got some cars pitting.
All clear. Got one right.
Biffle had to pass those five, so much for all that relaxation time. Going down low to try to miss that potential accident. Might have to go back to trying to pass these guys now because he doesn't have a lot of breathing room with Daniel Suarez right behind him.
Stay right. All clear.
They're stopping. Chase Elliott trying to come into the pits. I think he about spun out. Contact between Greg Biffle and Chase Elliott. I think Chase Briscoe might have gotten a piece of that as well. Briscoe in the 7th place position. Definitely crinkled up the front bumper a little bit on Greg Biffle's race car. I didn't even see anybody pitting all that either. They just came to a stop right in the middle of the corner again, and Elliott almost hit the ultimate price. I mean, he's already back at 34th anyway, so you only lose a couple more points if you say DNF. Now we got more cars pitting.
Two on the outside.
Eric Smithley coming into the pits, checking everybody up that time. Kyle Larson running into the side of Greg Biffle in the middle of the corner.
Car right. Car right.
Larson again squeezing Greg Biffle.
Clear all around. Clear all around.
Stick with the far chase cam for the rest of the race. Allmendinger up to second, actually, by getting by Kyle Larson for position. Assuming they're on the same lap, that is a battle for a spot. The damage on the front of Biffle's car might have slowed him up a bit because he is
Car right.
a little bit of problems just trying to keep up with Tyler Reddick, 18th right now.
Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear, clear. Got one right.
Sends it off deep enough into the corner, finally clears him. A little more dirty air on in front of him with Kyle Busch and Chris Buescher. Good run off the exit of turn 2. They're trying to dive underneath the 18. Push down to block. On some even slower cars at the very tail end of the field. And Timmy Hill slowing this pack up. Going to the back of the 18 of Busch. A little bit there, about ran right through him off the exit of the corner too. Definitely would have been a lot more difficult to get by Chris Buescher and Kyle Busch if they didn't catch up to the slower pack here led by Timmy Hill. 49 laps to go for Greg Biffle to get his first win with New York Racing and put this little team on the map in the NASCAR Cup Series on this NASCAR 22 custom schedule season. Just the 4th race and the first short track race of the year. This could be the strong suit for this team going forward. Aren't a lot of them in the playoffs, I'll tell you that much. So, have to maximize on the playoff points during the regular season on tracks like this. We can have similar success at Dirt Bristol, Richmond, Martinsville coming up very soon. May need a second win to get in with the lack of points he has to start the year. But looking for a max points day after winning the first 2 stages of this race. And of course, leading this final stage by a lot as well, with just 46 to go. Johnny T, thanks for tuning in. By the way, again, the smoke not from damage on the car. Glitch with this game. Can actually back his time up again, it appears. Back to where Timmy Hill is at right now in the 66, just as he was doing earlier. Get on in the middle of the corner. Not as big of a gap as it was earlier. Just trying to keep himself in some clean air is all he's really trying to do. Go another 122 laps on these tires as well. It's the longest green flag run to the race right now, just over 150 laps since the last caution. Last one green at lap 307. It's currently lap 459. Longest green flag runs before that, it was tied because stage 1 and stage 2 both went caution free at 125 laps. So we had 2 cautions in the first 57 laps of the final stage today. Just led us to where we're at right now. Not a lot of time left. Backing off again. Timmy Hill's still leading that group. Half second behind Biffle. Biffle gets going again. Taking these final really 70 to 80 laps of this race. I was going to say as easily as possible, and then we just put it in the wall again. That wasn't easy. Dang it. Did it twice. The car was tighter with the damage, but still driving like an idiot. Been fine for, 450 laps, and now that I'm having to coast it a little more, a little unorthodox for myself. It wasn't a scoring glitch. Well, maybe we had 2 scoring glitches with the cautions that'll trap the leaders maybe 2 extra laps down, but however many laps we win by, just imagine 2 laps less than that was the actual pace. Plus, we had some cars pitting at the end of the stage, which could have been another lap as well. But I don't think the cars that finished towards the front of the field outside of the leader, Greg Biffle, would have pitted before the end of the stage. Or Biffle didn't either. Drivers that you see finish in the top 5 at least. We'll definitely see some drivers pit again before the end of this race. I think that was Larice Hesmans in the 27 car starting to hold everybody else up. Biffle going to try to make some passes for right now.
Clear, 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 clear. Stay left. Clear all around. Clear all around.
Try to take it one at a time. Step downshift to the 3rd. All right. Hey, there's the air gun. That's the first time we've heard that in a while.
Stay left. Clear all around. Clear all around.
Had a little contact with Michael McDowell in the 34.
Clear, clear, clear. Got one right. Got one right. All clear.
Tap to the back of the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as well.
Car right. Clear, clear, clear.
Right off the exit of the last corner.
Got one right. All clear. Got one right. Got one right. Clear, clear.
Just really trying to make sure Austin Cindric stays off of him.
Car right. All clear. Stay left. Still there. Still there. Clear, clear. Stay left. Stay left. Clear, clear, clear. Got one right. Clear, clear, clear.
Let Kurt Busch go there. Initially, he got a little wobbly in the center of the corner, almost lost the front of his race car. He was going to chop us off going into the corner, see if we can get by both Hesmans and Bush this time through 3 and 4. Biffle just slides clear of Hesmans off the exit of turn 4. 24 laps to go from Greg Biffle, getting career win number 20 in dominating fashion, leading well over 460 laps of this race. He'll actually go on to lead 472 laps total, leading the rest of this race because he has led every lap since he came out as the leader on lap 29. Hasn't had to really pass another car the rest of this race for a while. And knowing that we'll likely see some drivers hit pit road quite a bit here pretty soon to the end, he's going to really back out of the gas. $20 to go at the line. He's going to drop way below the apron. I'll let these guys get by too. I was gonna say, I felt like there was gonna be a bigger gap back to this next group, which is led by Timmy Hill. So this is the leader of the group that we were originally losing. So gotta just kind of coast it between these two packs, out in the open a little more. Give Biffle some added breathing room just in case we'll see some pit stops at the end of the race, which I'm thinking we will, because we saw some pit stops in the final 5 or 6 laps of the stage breaks. So we're getting into that next 125 lap block here. Sound means it's pitting time. Nah. We'll be able to make it on fuel. I actually went 129 laps before pitting the last time, so we only had to go 122 to the end when we made our green flag stop. Probably could have went a little longer than that if we didn't get a couple cautions, because you tend to burn fuel a lot more under cautions than what you do under green in this game, which is weird. Usually you would think you'd save fuel under caution. So polar opposite in this game, as is many things. 15 laps to go at the world's fastest half mile. Bristol Motor Speedway. We're coasting it. Pick it back up again. Looking to bring it home a winner. Kind of fitting, my favorite track is where we're going to get this first win of the season with Greg Biffle. Finally bring New York Racing to the promised land and winning a NASCAR Cup Series sanctioned race. Be the 4th different winner in the first 4 races of this custom schedule season. That's going to be 3 drivers now. Means we didn't drive as Biffle for the first season. It'll be 3 different drivers to win a race on our custom schedule season that did not win a race out of the 13 different winners we saw in our first season of NASCAR 22. So again, the likelihood of having 16 different winners is definitely looking more and more likely as the season progresses. Got some green flag pit stops going on right now. We're down to just 9 laps to go this time by. Saw Alex Bowman pit a little bit ago. That'll drop him outside of the top 10. Looks like somebody else is on pit road. Couldn't tell who it was. We definitely have some cars pitting. And the late going to this race as I expected. So this will shake up the running order a little bit more to the very end. So not only we're going to last all 500 laps to finish on the lead lap, which is my goal to start of this race today, but we're going to go on and dominate and win. You just never know with this game. Any given race, we can either dominate or lose by a lot. The scoring glitches and the other glitches, really, that this game beholds. Today, Greg Biffle's finally going to capture some good fortune for finishing no better than 38th in the first 3 races. He's had speed, just hasn't won. Ross Billings, thanks for tuning in. How many laps behind is second? I have 0 clue.
Got one right.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize. I'm so glad I didn't get ran over there. There's no rear view that I was able to look to see if Chase Elliott and Ross Chastain were coming, but they were hauling the mail. I think they just left pit road, so they were behind that last group. Either that or they finally passed Timmy Hill, but I doubt that happened. I think they pitted. 3 to go this time by at the start-finish line. Chastain now back to last place. Despite still being in this race with pitting. Unless other cars just in front of him pitting these last 3 laps, he's going to end up finishing last. Chase Elliott 34th as well. 2 to go this time by at the line. Yeah, we're going to be quite a few laps ahead, though. It's because the AI, again, have not passed anybody pretty much this whole race, so they get stuck behind slower cars like BJ McLeod, and Garrett Smithley, Timmy Hill, and those guys at the rear of the field, and they're much slower, even if they're on, equal tires, let alone older tires, they're even more slower, and that's why the pack is as backed up as you see. Final lap, though. 1 lap to go. Biffle won't have to coast it here at all on this final lap. He'll get his way into turns 3 and 4. Into the checkered flag, he comes home a winner. For the first time ever, Greg Biffle will win the Bristol night race. It'll be on NASCAR 22. New York Racing has found their way to victory lane, ladies and gentlemen. 11 laps, holy cow. I didn't think it was that much. I thought it was like 7, 8, 9. Well, I guess so they lost, never mind, it was 10 laps. We won by 10, still a lot. 2 of those laps were gained. So my guess is 2 of those laps were gained because of the cautions, which came out in stage 3. Scoring glitches in this game, and the leaders pass the start-finish line. The other drivers get trapped a lap down because we were already more than a lap ahead at that time. They just the whole field got trapped another lap down essentially. So that's how they lost 2 of the laps. The other potentially 3 laps they lost was drivers pitting at the end of the race. That's a little. I don't know if everybody pitted at the end of the race or not. That was of the drivers like second, pretty much the rest of the top 10, because Allmendinger was in second and he pitted, ends up finishing 11th. Larson was third, he finished 14th, so not everybody pitted there, so we probably didn't gain a full lap. Maybe on everybody but Cindric, essentially. So Cindric could finish 10 laps down, a full lap ahead of Suarez. But they would have lost some laps at the end of stage. At least 1 lap at the end of stage 1 as well. I mean, we lapped the field a handful of times, but we didn't lap them ourselves 10 times. We had some luck. But hey, I'll take it. It's the first time we finished better than 38. This is on expert difficulty. We were just lucky that they couldn't pass a single car in this race, so as long as I navigated through traffic carefully, I was able to win. That's exactly what happened. So Greg Biffle in victory lane. The rest of your top 10 looks like this. You got Biffle winning, Austin Cindric, rookie, finishing second, Daniel Suarez, Daytona 500 winner, finishing third. Kurt Busch finishes 4th, solid run. He needed that. A lot of stage points today for him, too. Brad Keselowski ends up 5th. Ty Dillon, top 10 all day, and finishes 6th. Martin Truex Jr. 7th. Justin Haley 8th. Cole Custer 9th. And Denny Hamlin rounds out the top 10. It's the second top 10 for Ty Dillon in these first 2 races of the season. And oddly enough, the 2 super speedway races were the races he didn't finish in the top 10, so that's kind of scary. Some drivers that finish outside the top 10. you see on the screen, Byron was second at one point for a large portion of this race. Not at the end of it. Kyle Busch finished last. And Ross Chastain second to last. Blaney, who was top 5 at the end of the first 2 stages, 36th. Chase Elliott 32nd. Christopher Bell 29th. Bubba Wallace 30th. All those big name drivers at the back of the field due to the pitting sequences at the end of the stages, and of course at the end of the race too. You saw most of them pitting. Simulation Junkie, thanks for tuning in. When is NASCAR 23 coming out? I have zero clue. I don't even know if it's going to be an actual game or if it's just going to be another season update, or even if we're going to get that. I don't know. We'll go to Victory Lane here with Greg Biffle, getting the first win of the season. Get to see the Biff in Victory Lane. I'm curious to see what he looks like in this game. Does he look accurate? Does this look like Greg Biffle? We'll find out. First ever win at Bristol though for Biffle in the Cup Series. He didn't even take his helmet off. Yeah. It looks like the football helmets at my local high school. They got the G's on it, similar color. He didn't even take his helmet off. Well, they didn't get Greg Biffle's face in this game then. They probably weren't expecting anybody to race as Greg Biffle win as him in this game, and we were able to conquer that today. But thanks for everybody tuning in. We'll be racing at Auto Club on NASCAR 22 tomorrow night on the channel. We'll start that up at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Hit the like button down below if you haven't already. 58 likes on the stream so far. Appreciate that so much. We had about 60 people watch at one point. So appreciate the everything that you guys do for me watching the streams, whether it's live commentary streams on the weekend or these during the week. And, of course, live commentary will be back Saturday, Sunday next week with Phoenix races for the Xfinity and the Cup Series. So stay tuned for that. Also tune in on Thursday. Every Thursday we have a Throwback Thursday on the channel where we watch an old NASCAR race from whatever track they're racing at that weekend. So we'll be watching old Phoenix race. You can vote on that, the community tab as well. On the road to becoming a featured commentator in the sport of NASCAR, of course, and also on the road as of right now still to 5,000 subs. Honestly, I think we can get there in about another month or less. So appreciate it, everybody. I will see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.